Adjusting the focus. Meh. Hi. Like, I need to stop moving around. So, if you know me in real life, in my Facebook, you know I'm very adamant about a lot of different social issues and stigmas, I guess, in the media, and it's kind of a hobby of mine is to post Facebook statuses about them and make people get uncomfortable. But it's something I believe in, and something I talk a lot about is beauty stigmas for women and girls and the way we're treated in the media, what is expected of us. I mostly talk about makeup and shaming people for their decisions and stuff like that. If you're friends with me, you know. You know. And something I haven't talked about much on my Facebook, I don't talk about weight a lot. I was kind of flipping through a lot of my old statuses and I realized it's not really something I was bringing up. And I have been watching some people in my life, in the media, not in the media, just human beings on this earth, absolutely wither away because of what is considered beautiful, what they feel needs to be of them. Eating disorders is a very, very, very tough topic for a lot of people. It is part of so many people's lives. If you look in a high school, a lot of the teenage girls and some of the boys, it's more than half that have experienced or are experiencing eating disorders because they're trying so hard to fit what is expected of them. This topic's just a little sensitive. It hurt so many people, and I've seen it just be the end-all be-all to people's lives where that's the only thing they're focusing on. They're going to prom and they're counting the calories of the dinner before prom in fear that people will be able to see their stomachs aren't flat after they just had a big meal before a dance. It originated with being really fit, being toned, being athletic, being healthy, and now it's turned into flat, which means a lot of the time very underweight. So many girls are striving for it. It's everywhere. So I decided to share my story. I don't care if it's only one person. If someone sees this and it helps them a little bit, then that's all I'm asking for. I have always been very self-conscious about my weight from a very, very early age. I have brothers, and that was their favorite insult, was to call me fat. That's for you. I love you guys. I remember I was in 4th grade. I locked myself in a room on a boat in the Caribbean because one of them called me fat. And I locked myself in there for 3 hours. It was just kind of strange. I started watching some of the things that I ate. I got kind of self-conscious about that, but I didn't change anything. It started happening. I started realizing it was there. Around 7th grade was when I started bulking out a little bit, and I decided that it would help me to cut down what I was eating. And so I kind of put myself on a schedule, and I still remember it. Every 2 days I'll have a big meal, and in between that I'm not allowed to eat more than a single sandwich or like a bag of fruit from my lunch. I didn't follow it. I lost like 5 pounds. It helped me. It made me feel better about myself, so I thought it was perfectly fine. 8th grade was a really stressful time. I was stressed, I was worried, I was just kind of bad, and that's when I stopped eating. It wasn't like I wouldn't touch anything, because that's not the way it was. But the problem was is that I was so focused on the way that I looked, I would start worrying, I would start stressing about everything that I ate, everything that I did, everything that was around me. So I didn't feel hungry, I just didn't want to eat. I've always been someone who wanted the approval of others. I think it almost hurt me a little bit that nobody noticed that I stopped eating. And that's awful, because I don't want to admit that I'm that big of an attention whore. That was probably my worst circumstance that I feel bad admitting, because I feel like a horrible person for saying that, but it's just the way it was. I felt bad because nobody noticed. So I went from, because I was 125 8th grade year, and then I went to like 115 around there. I was really proud of that. I was proud to be 115. I was so happy with myself around that time. Freshman year of high school, what else can I say? High school, it's high school. High school. Anyway, the high school that I went to was in the area for America's top 3 skinniest cities in the world. It was number 1. There was that. I was eating a little bit more. I was eating again. I was kind of like starting to feel a little better. I would eat and I would feel horrible about what I ate. I would stress more than anything else about what I just put in my mouth, and I wouldn't stop myself from eating it, but afterward I would sit and feel disgusting. That's when I started self-induced vomiting. I would binge and eat as much as I could and then get rid of it. At my lowest, I got to 103. I was just so proud of myself. I thought that it was the best achievement I will ever make in my life, was getting to 103. I thought that I was perfectly okay being done. I would eat and I would still feel horrible, and I would start getting nauseous after eating just because my body got so used to what I was doing. I would start throwing up without wanting to. After I got over it, I started gaining weight again. At the end of my freshman year, I felt fine. I felt okay. I felt good. The summer between my freshman and sophomore year, I had like a best friend. Like, she was like practically my life. And I still want to thank her every day for everything that she did for me, because I wouldn't be me without her. I thought that she was the definition of beauty, of how a woman should look. I'm not saying that it was her fault. It wasn't at all. It was purely my mind. But I would eat and I would see her and just see how like perfect I thought she looked, and I started feeling awful about what I would eat. I would get nauseous. I started throwing up again, and it wasn't that I was sticking my finger down my throat. It wasn't that I was trying to lose weight or anything. I just felt disgusting. Like, I would eat and I would feel like I wronged myself, like I wronged everyone around me, like I was a problem for being overweight, and I wasn't overweight. And that went on for a couple months, where I would be on and off. I would lose a bunch of weight, I would start gaining it back, and then I would start getting off and I'd lose a bunch of weight. And I fluxed between 120 and 115 and 125. I kind of just bounced back. I always kind of was by 5s. I was just bouncing everywhere, in a rate that was really unhealthy. I was bouncing too fast, because when you do get rid of the things in your stomach, you come back. The weight comes back really fast in a way that it shouldn't. I was never in the hospital. I never got to the point where it was physically dangerous. I met some people that really did change my life. They really helped me and all that during fall. Now I'm 16, and I still have times where I feel uncomfortable with who I am. But for the most part, I've made the decision to love myself. I love me. I love me. Okay, no, but I weigh more than I have ever in my life. I'm 5'2", and the BMI scale for 5'2" is basically like 115 is a healthy weight, and that's what I kind of worked on. And there's just so many different body types in the world, and so many different versions of healthy. It's gotten to the point where you can't rely on charts to tell you whether or not you're healthy. You need to know whether you're happy with your body. And I am. I'm not worried about my future, about where I'm going or how I look, because I'm genuinely happy with who I am now. And I just wish that more people could say that. So my name is Rose Ellis. You can find me on Facebook. That's my personal Facebook. And anyone can message me or email me at rellis1998, or do whatever you want to contact me if you want to talk about anything. I want to be there for you. And I want you to know that there are people who are in similar situations, or have been, or who can understand. And I feel like everyone deserves to be happy with who they are. And if someone watches this and it strikes a nerve and they start looking at themselves differently, then I don't care about looking at themselves differently, then I don't care. I feel like it's worth it if just one person starts to love themselves. Yeah. Closing of a video.